I see homeowners make these 5 mistakes all the time and it costs them thousands. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 common vinyl fence mistakes that end up costing you money. Hopefully after this video, you can avoid what I'm going to talk about. Let's get started. Not going deep enough with your posts. Whenever you're installing a vinyl fence post, you want to make sure that you dig your hole deep enough so that way the fence has enough support. Here in New York, whenever we do installations, we go a full 3 feet deep and then surround that post with concrete. That offers a substantial amount of support. If you cut the end of your post so you don't have to dig as far, the fence will be substantially weaker, and with a high wind, that post could blow right out of the ground. So don't take shortcuts. Make sure you go all the way down a full 2 or 3 feet deep, preferably 3 feet deep. The second mistake I see is externally mounting your rails. Now, I want to be clear here. This isn't necessarily a mistake, rather a cheap installation method. A lot of your big home goods stores will sell sections that come with brackets, and you simply screw the sections into the bracket and externally mount them to your posts. This is bad for a couple of reasons. One, it's ugly. I mean, look at this example right here. As you'll see, the fence looks cheap, and between every post and section you have a large space. I don't want to say this is an incorrect way to do things, because it does work. It's just cheap and very fragile. It's not as strong. Whenever we install vinyl fences, we use posts with holes that are routed into the post. That way we could properly insert the rails inside the posts. And you'll see whenever we do our installations, we either use notch rails that when you insert them into the post they lock into place, or we put a screw on top of the rail right next to the post so that way that rail cannot slide out. This is better because, one, it looks nicer. As you'll see on the section behind me, there's no space between the post and the section here, and also it's much stronger. If you get a high wind, this is a lot less likely to pop out than if you have an externally mounted rail. In strong winds, I see these externally mounted rails break all the time because there's nothing holding them together besides a couple of screws. They're very fragile. I mean, one throw of a baseball, one high wind, I mean, you can probably think of 100 things that could break a vinyl fence. The proper method of installing these vinyl fences, where you actually mark out on your job how many end posts, line posts, and corner posts you need, and you insert the rails properly into the posts. It just looks better and it holds up way longer. And again, while doing it the right way may cost a little bit more up front, it will save you a lot of money in the future when you have a fence that doesn't need to be repaired all the time. The third mistake I see is installing vinyl fence sections without a metal strip in the bottom rail. So I'm going to take our metal channel and slide it in the bottom rail. If you drive around, you'll probably be able to find fences that are sagging on the bottom. They kind of make like a smiley face shape on the bottom of the fence. That is just from people not doing that step right there. I want to be clear. You can install a fence section without the metal strip and get away with it. However, as you'll see, just look at this fence behind me. Now you can imagine this has a little bit of weight to it. It's not extremely heavy, but this is a 6-foot high fence being supported by one rail going across the bottom. And ideally, you want a little bit of a gap underneath the fence on the bottom. It looks good and it's best for water drainage. So over time, gravity is going to do its thing and pull this section down, which, if you get a cheap section, will eventually result in the bottom rail sagging. That is because over time, this is plastic, that section is going to bend down toward the ground due to the weight of the section and gravity doing its thing. That's why it's so important that you put a metal strip in the bottom rail. And if you buy a high quality section, it should come with this metal strip. We always sell our vinyl fence sections with the metal strip that goes in the bottom rail. But if you buy your sections cheap, imported sections, or sections, like I said, from a big home goods store, they don't always have it included. And while you'll save a little bit money up front, once again, this will cost you money down the road when you need to go through your fence line and replace all the bottom rails because you didn't do it right the first time. The next mistake I often see is not setting a proper string line. I want to be clear, if you're installing a long line of fence across a property line, you do not want to eyeball this. You want to set a string line from the beginning to the end of the line, so that way all of your posts are sequentially on the same line and the fence is straight. If in the future you are slightly over past where you're supposed to be with your fence and a new homeowner comes in and wants to make an issue about it, it is pretty costly to have to move the fence over. In addition, let's say you try to eyeball it and your fence line is a bit wavy. So you have one post here and then one post is a few inches offset and then a few inches offset. While you may be able to pass that first, eventually it will drive you crazy because you will notice it and it will be costly to have to move it back to where it should be. Do it right the first time and set your string line. The fifth and final mistake that I'm going to showcase in this video, and remember, there's probably hundreds of mistakes we could talk about, but for the sake of having a nice video structure, I chose to talk about 5 big ones today. The fifth one I'm going to talk about is using your vinyl fence as a retaining wall. Now, there are a lot of situations like this estimate I did in Farmingdale a few days ago where we're going to take out this old wood fence, and as you'll see, there's about 7-8 inches of dirt from the garden piled up against the wood fence. Now, this is a problem because once we take out this wood fence, that dirt is going to go out toward the neighbor's property because that wood fence is acting as a retaining wall. Now, the proper thing to do in this scenario is to remove the wood fence, install a proper retaining wall, whether that's treated wood, which would be your least expensive option, or doing a nice masonry structure, which will be a little bit pricier. But the correct way to do it is to install your retaining wall and then either install your vinyl fence in front of the wall or on top of it, depending on which wall you choose. A huge mistake, and I see it all the time, is people think they could use their vinyl fences as retaining walls. Vinyl is a naturally flexible material. It is not meant to hold back soil and maintain property grade. If you stack a bunch of dirt and mulch up against the fence, it will curve over time, and it does not look nice, and it is not the right way to do things. While you may not want to invest in a retaining wall right away, in the end, it will save you money, because what's gonna happen in the future is you're gonna see your fence start to curve, then you're gonna call a fence company to come and repair it, but they're just gonna pretty much charge you the same price or close to it of a new fence installation, because you're gonna have to take apart all those sections, likely straighten out some posts, put in new bottom rails. I mean, by the time the job is done, you basically paid for a new fence installation. And then if that dirt is still piling up against the fence, you're just gonna have to do that again in the future. So please, a vinyl fence is a great investment because of how long it lasts and how little maintenance it is. So make the investment properly. If you're in this situation, like the estimate I did a few days ago, get the retaining wall in the beginning. Don't expect your vinyl fence to hold the weight of your garden. Your wallet will thank you. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Please subscribe to our channel. We release 2 new videos every week and you don't want to miss them. Leave a like on this video and check out this related content. See you in the next one.